Hello everyone, my name is Demismu and this is my assistant, the Foot. Today we'll talk about Anaximenes, a follower and pupil of Anaximander who we introduced last time. In this video, we'll focus on Anaximenes' idea that the ARCHE of all things is air. There are two things that make Anaximenes special. The first one is that Anaximenes was the first philosopher to actually explain change based on the nature of his ARCHE or origin. What does this mean? Well, Thales never explained how things emerge from water, at least there is nothing left behind to show this. Anaximander did explain how things emerge from the apeiron, the boundless, we spoke of in the last video. But the explanation does not actually follow from the nature of apeiron itself. What do we mean? According to Anaximander, the world emerges from the apeiron, but what happens is that a germ separates from the apeiron, the boundless, carrying the opposites of hot and cold, from which then other things such as stars and planets come to be. This is not the best explanation. You have the apeiron, the boundless, then suddenly a germ comes into play and two opposites of hot and cold. Why does this happen? Where does the germ suddenly come from? Why does it separate from the boundless? And why are hot and cold the two opposites the germ contains? Why not some other two? It seems like there is no logic to this process. Anaximenes, on the other hand, explains the emergence from air based on the features of air itself, through rarefaction and condensation. According to Anaximenes, when air rarefies, mist and rain emerge. When air condenses, rock and earth come to be. Now, from our perspective, this might be incorrect, but it makes sense. There is logic to this process. The ARCHE can now explain the emergence of all things in such a way that the process is internal to the nature of its origin. Rarefaction and condensation are things air can do. All things in the world, all the differences in quality result from a difference in quantity of one single substance, air. Everything can be traced back to the density of air. The second thing that makes Anaximenes special is closely connected to the first one. If all things can be traced back to the density of air, to its rarefaction and condensation, this means that all things are in fact air in some form or another. Now this is something completely new in the history of philosophy. In Thales' case, water was the origin of all things, and that's it. According to Anaximander, the apeiron is the origin and that which rules over things. Now we have another idea. Air is the origin, but also that which all things are. All things are actually air. This is important to remember, because what we see here is a slow development of what will later be called essence or substance. So Anaximenes was the first to explicitly explain the process of change according to the logic of his principle, air. And he is the first one to think the ARCHE not only as a removed origin or the eternal rule, but something residing within things, something all things are a modification of. Next time we'll move to a completely different type of philosophers, those who taught the ARCHE as immaterial, the Pythagoreans. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.